and welcome to Clout 941. I'm your host, Ron Filipkowski. Tonight we are packed with news and items. We have a great guest. Tonight's show is about charity. It's about Christmas. It's about the Why are you laughing? It's about the holiday season. Stop laughing. You're throwing me off. It's about the holiday season, and we're going to have a good time in tonight's show, as we always do. But first, bad news. Tonight on Clout 941, Santa is organizing a boycott of the Herald Tribune. In a bad economy, how many industries, how many businesses raise prices? Does anybody know of a car business, a home industry, any business out there that is raising prices in this economy right now? Well, there's only two people we know of, two places we know of that are raising prices in this economy: the city of New York and the New York Times. The New York Times from on high has raised the rates of the Herald Tribune, increased the cost of the newspaper by 50% in a bad economy to 75 cents. This is ridiculous, and we are organizing the boycott now. Now, if you go to our website, clout941.com, what we have on there is every local newspaper, the link. We list them right down the line. We have the Herald Tribune, we have the Observer, Pelican Press, Venice Gondolier, Northport Sun, Longboat Key News, even Creative Loafing. And we have some political blogs local that cover Venice and Sarasota. You can read everything you want to read for free. Make the Herald Tribune pay the price for raising prices in a bad economy, and boycott their newspaper. By the way, Creative Loafing had an interesting letter to the editor this week. Creative Loafing had a letter to the editor talking about, how do I get the bugs off my marijuana plants? My marijuana plants have recently become infested by bugs. Only Creative Loafing would A, print that letter, and B, actually answer it. You gotta love Creative Loafing. So I like different eclectic publications like that. Now, next item. The finger pointing has begun between some of the city and county commissioners and the recriminations over losing spring training, as it looks like we're about to do. And this is also another lesson. Government employees, particularly elected officials, should never use email. You got to be crazy, because you got to understand that this is public record, and it just seems like too many of them don't get it. The Observer this week published a great article where they printed out long emails back and forth between city and county commissioners, throwing barbs at each other and accusing each other of sort of pulling the rug out from under each other, one side not living up to their end of the bargain. Great set of emails in the Observer this week between some of the city and county commissioners over baseball. Highly recommend it. It's a good read and a lesson to all county and city workers. Don't use your work email. It's all public record. Next are Puppy Town protesters. One of the only new businesses in Sarasota County that started up in the last 6 months has been Puppy Town, which is across from the Best Buy on 41. Went in there, talked to the owner, great young guy. He wanted to take the pet store to a new level. It is a neat shop. They treat the puppies great. They have little play areas for kids. And what happens? A bunch of morons were out there this week protesting Puppy Town, saying it was a puppy mill, you should adopt from the animal shelters, etc., etc. Well, it turns out the reporters went in there and they found out that Puppy Town does not get their puppies from puppy mills. They get them from humane places and sources. And then they went out and confronted the protesters. Look, these puppies aren't from puppy mills. And they said, well, we don't care. We want to raise awareness anyway. Here's a young guy who's very creative, who started a business in a recession, lots of young families in there buying puppies, and these morons are trying to run him out of business with some ridiculous protest, and they ought to be ashamed of themselves. Next, the Big Sugar Everglades deal. Some legislators are backpedaling on this issue. What this involves is this. Florida has a natural treasure. The ecosystem of the Everglades is unlike any on Earth. South of Alligator Alley is protected, and the headwaters near Kissimmee are also protected. However, between Lake Okeechobee and the north part of the Everglades, is where all the big sugar plantations are. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers artificially drained this area, artificially dug out canals, and wiped out a huge part of Florida's natural ecosystem. The state's been in negotiations for a long time to buy this land back, return it to the natural wetlands that it was. It's a $1.3 billion deal. Governor Christ is 100% behind this deal, as are we. This is a national treasure that we have here in Florida. Unlike anything else in the world, we have to buy this land back. We have to shut down Big Sugar and return it to its natural wildlife state. Next item, Judge Rochelle Curley hit by a car in front of the courthouse. This is the most dangerous crosswalk in Sarasota County. It's the crosswalk on Ringling Boulevard that leads to the courthouse from the sheriff's office and from the clerk of court. They used to have a traffic light there that would stop the cars for the crosswalk. They took it out 2 months ago, and since then, you're taking your life into your own hands. You are hoping when you enter that crosswalk that cars flying by will stop. Now, we knew that if a lawyer got hit, the county wouldn't take any action. And I think that's why they removed that light, is to try to make sure that lawyers get hit. Because I've almost been hit a number of times crossing that crosswalk, and everybody just laughed about it. Well, you know what? Now you got a judge, and it's time to pay. I'm sure we're going to get that light back, because this plot to kill lawyers just backfired in their face. Now, another item. Independent counsel has been appointed to investigate Hal Nelson, Deputy Superintendent of Schools, allegations that the superintendent is racist and has racist policies towards him, and and the Sarasota school system in general is racist. An independent counsel has been appointed from Palm Beach. We are following the story very closely. We have a guest coming on the show in 2 weeks to talk about this. This is a very interesting story and one we are following closely. That's it for the news. When we come back for our break, we're going to have our guest, Scott Anderson.
It's Christmas time in Hollis, Queens. Mom's cooking chicken and collard greens, rice and stuffing macaroni and cheese, and Santa put gifts under Christmas trees. Decorate the house with lights at night.